Okay, welcome back to another video, and this is going to be a little let's play slash review of the Oregon Trail. This game was made in 1971 as a text-only game developed by Don Rowich, Bill Heineman, and Paul Dillenberger. It was initially designed to educate students about the Oregon Trail and pioneer life, and it was eventually re-released by the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, or MEC, in 1974 with added graphics and music, which is going to be the version I'll be playing. Specifically, I'm going to be playing the MS-DOS port, but I do believe the first version released was on the Apple II, and it has been ported and remade several times over the years. In fact, the version I grew up with was actually Oregon Trail 2, which I'll be getting to in another review in the future. There are also a number of spin-offs like Yukon Trail and Amazon Trail released over the years as well. Now, the company MEC back in the day specialized in educational games, and some of the ones I most remember playing as a kid besides Oregon Trail were their Number Muncher series. When I was about maybe between the ages of 8 and 11, I remember playing on my dad's old PC Oregon Trail 2, Troggle Trouble Math, which was a spin-off of the Number Muncher series, and of course some of the old Windows Carmen Sandiego games. Okay, let's begin. I'm turning sound off because it sounds awful in the game. I'm going to play as a banker because the banker gets the most money, and money's good, right? I'll name my character Psychonous. My second character will be named Psy. The real reason you want to play as a banker is because basically Bob, Bill, Jim. The reason you want to play as a banker is because with the most money, it's easier to get supplies, and so the banker is always the easiest playthrough. Now, you can play as other types like farmers, and they have less money, but they get more points when you beat the game, which is not that important to me. Now, once you buy all the oxen, food, clothing, food, ammunition, and parts you need, you don't really need much else except for food, because food will go down because you're eating it, and so that's the one thing you need to keep an eye on. I keep myself pretty stocked up on bullets at the beginning of the game, so I never worry about running out of those. So hunting is always an option. And you get various selections. You could talk to people, which adds historical lore to the game, which is a part of the educational value of the game. And this moving animation is really all you ever get in the game. Most of the game is still played via text. You can keep track of the weather, your health, how much food you have, your next landmark, and whatnot. And rivers and landmarks you can stop at and rest and talk to people and trade. At forts you can buy supplies. Everywhere else on the map you can also hunt. And we're pretty low on food right now. And if our rations right now are at filling, you can also change it to meager or bare bones. These will help conserve food, but they'll also mean your party's health will go down a lot quicker. When crossing rivers, I usually check to see how deep it is and how wide it is. If it's really deep, I usually will hire a ferryman or a Indian to help. And this hunting mini game is pretty basic. You just push a button, spacebar, and you fire, and you move your character's direction. You can't move him across the map, but you can change his direction. And the terrain is randomly generated, so you never know what you're going to get, and sometimes the terrain can be really quite shitty. Right now it's not too bad, but sometimes it can be awful, and also the game itself can be pretty scary, especially further along in the game you go. And you can only carry 100 pounds of food at a time when you do hunting, so if you shoot a buffalo or two, you really don't need to shoot anything else, and you'll just waste ammo because you won't be able to carry it back. But as long as you have ammo and you're in a zone where you can hunt, you can do it as many times as you want to. This train's pretty good. I just shot 2 buffalo, so I really don't need to shoot anything else. So yeah, we're doing pretty good here. So check supplies and let's get going. Bill has a broken arm. And now we're at the Big Blue River crossing. Big Louie. Now it's a good idea to rest when you at various stops if your health is down to poor, because it'll bring your health down to up to at least fair. Because resting can deal with ailments and illnesses and exhaustion and just overall the health of the party can be improved. Bill has a broken arm again, and Bob got lost. What is with these people? Now we're at Fort Kearny, and here we can actually buy supplies, and we're pretty low on food, so we're going to go buy ourselves some. And I always buy 500 pounds wherever I go. As I said before, you're really not going to be buying anything else after you stock up at the first location. Because if you're a banker, you have most of the money you need. And if you really need some food and you don't have any money, you can always hunt. And since I've stocked up on ammo, I almost never run out of ammo. And so we're pretty set. And that's why I don't bother with changing the rations to like meager or bare bones. Yeah, it conserves. Here's Chimney Rock. Yeah, it conserves, but it's not a good idea. Now we're past a grave site. Hey, 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 come out and play. The thing about these gravestones is that previous playthroughs, if your main character dies in a previous playthrough, you can put a gravestone there and add your own customized epitaph. And when you play the game again, you can actually find your old gravestone there, which is pretty funny sometimes, especially if you get creative with the gravestone. In fact, later on in this playthrough, you will see another gravestone, which will be mine from a previous playthrough. £68 of meat. The game was pretty scarce here. Well, it wasn't scarce, just the terrain was bad. But we're leaving we're now at Fort Laramie, and we're okay on food, I guess. Talk to people. And yeah, these talking to people options can give you little snippets of trivia on the relationships between Native Americans and white people, and Native Americans and other Native Americans. It can be really quite interesting sometimes. And I guess you're supposed to talk to people because it's supposed to be an educational game. And it was a lot of schools back in the 80s would buy this game and have it on their computers. I imagine most of the kids, their favorite part was probably the hunting. Bill has exhaustion. Always Bill. Resting, as I said, can help with your the status of your health. You can also rest to wait for better weather. I'm going to change my rations to meager. Well, I previously changed it to meager briefly just so that I could rest without eating too much. Now we're at Independence Rock. And Big Louie is talking about the Plata River. Who's Big Louie? I don't remember him being in my party. But apparently his name is Louie, and he's big. We're going to rest for a few days, and the weather's warm. Check our supply of food. We're not doing too bad, so let's get going. Found some fruit. And let's hunt for a while. Yeah, it doesn't look like this is the best terrain. Looks like everybody is kind of just running around in the side that I can't get to. You were unable to shoot any food. Let's try again. Now, if you have enough ammo, you can play the this mini game, over and over again to grind for food. But I think that can make the game feel more tedious than it has to be. And as I said, you really don't. I have never had to do that. I guess you could do that, but I've never had to. As I said, the longest I've ever had to keep playing the hunting mini game to feel satisfied was 3 times, like 3 times in a row. This is my 3rd attempt, and I don't think I will need to do it again. I only got 3 deer, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're pretty much set on food. So let's get going. Found some more fruit. We're now at South Pass. We're going to try haggling and trading. This almost never works out. As I said, the deals are randomly generated, and so you can't like select what you want to trade for. And usually the deal's never anything I want to do. So I almost never do this. And I always choose heading for the forts here because the forts obviously have stores, which means you can stock up with supplies. You also can rest without any fear of weather or other problems. It's safer. It's more out of the way, and so it takes longer, but it's always my preferred route. And we broke a rag and axle. I'll try to fix it. We fixed it. And if I fail to fix it, I'll have to use one of the spares I bought. Let's try. Oh, this is terrible. This is awful. But I got a deer. This terrain is terrible. The thing about random generation is that you don't always get sensible level design. £55, that's not a lot. Let's try it again. This terrain ain't too bad. As long as the animals show up here. Miss the rabbit. And we're starting to see some bears out here because we're further west, which means we're going to encounter some animals we don't normally encounter in the more eastern areas. Got a rabbit. 74 pounds. Not great, but we'll live with it. There's Fort Bridger. We'll stop there, and I think I'm going to buy some supplies. Check our supplies real quick, and then buy some food. Once again, 500 pounds is normal. And this does take a large chunk out of your money, but as I said before multiple times, you're not going to use that money for anything else, really. We're going to rest for a day or so. Weather's good, health is fair. And I'm thinking that we could talk to somebody and then get going. Bob got lost again. Soda Springs. What is Bob doing walking away from the wagon anyway? Okay, let's take a look at our supplies. We're doing pretty good. Talk to somebody about Soda Springs, and Celinda Hines has something to say, whoever the hell that is. And we're out Fort Hall. And let's just take a look at our supplies one more time. Not too bad, but I'm going to buy some food anyway. Never going to have too much of that. Let's rest for a day. Miles Hendrick. So he's partying with us. I didn't even know he was there in the first place. Now let's get going. Found some wild fruit. Snake River crossing. And I think I'm going to have this native guy help me cross. Yeah, 6 foot deep. Yeah, I'm going to have some help. 3 sets of clothing. That's not too bad. So now we're crossing the river, had no trouble. And we're going to head to Fort Boise. Found some wild fruit. We're at Fort Boise. Our supplies are about average. I'm not too worried about my food right now. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is to talk to somebody. This guy is Jacob Hofstetter. And I think we're going to get going now after a rest. Broken wagon wheel. Fix it. Cy has a fever. Poor Cy. Forgot to capitalize his name. I'm going to rest for a day or two. And get going again. Our health is down to really quite poor, so I'm going to rest us up a bit. Back to fair. And I think we're good to go. Cy died. I guess that wasn't enough for him. Bill has a broken leg. Oh, shut up, Bill. Our health is poor again. Let's rest for a while. Pounds of food. I think it's time to hunt again. This could be good, I guess. I'm going to try shooting that bear. Okay, there we go. Got him. And got another one. That's enough. Shoot anymore would just be a waste of ammo. Alright, let's get a move on. Okay, rest 2 days. If you can't tell, I'm actually recording the audio after the playthrough, so I know not always accurately predicting. Okay, yep. Death is highly overrated. I've been playing too much Skyrim. But yep, that was my gravestone from a previous playthrough. And this could be bad. A stupid rock. Come on. You also, unless I'm mistaken, I really don't think you can exit out of the minigame either. I think you have to wait until it's done before you can try another map. Now let's try again. Yep. Okay, we got a deer. That's not too bad. It's a little bit better than last time. I love how a single bullet can take down a bear and they never attack you. And that squirrel skedaddling. 72 pounds, that's not too bad, I guess. Let's get going. We're at the Blue Mountains. They're blue. Kinda. A tired overlander. This guy doesn't even have a name. Unless that is his name, Tired Overlander. I guess Overlander could be a last name. Alright, we're not too far from home. Alright, I'm going to head for Fort Walla Walla for the same reasons I gave before. We lost today because of the heavy fog. A thief came and stole 58 bullets. Not 59, not 60, not 55. He stole a specific amount. Alright, we're at Fort Walla Walla. You gotta love this almost like Windows Paint style animation. It's pretty quite awful, but it's the best we got. Alright, we pretty much depleted the majority of our money, but we're not going to need it since we're going to be we're very close to the end now. A young mother. Alright, let's rest a while. Bill has died. Not too surprising, but Bill has died. We're now at the Dalles. Now here you can actually select a mini game, which will allow you to move your wagon down the river yourself, or you can just take a toll road and spend a couple of money there. You get more points if you do the mini game, but we're just going to do the toll road this time after doing resting a bit. So we're going to take the toll road, $8, not too much, and we'll be there shortly. We lost 3 days, found 63 bullets in an abandoned wagon, and we reached the Willamette Valley. So now we're at the Oregon Trail, and now we can see how many points I've earned. And 3 people have survived, and I'm now in the Oregon top 10, which means I'm in the bottom portion of it, but still, it's good to be recognized. And I hope you enjoyed this little review / playthrough, and I hope you all have a good one.